live and
Here.
recording.
Okay,
So you might want to do the minutes again.
yes.
Approve.
Okay, so a motion has been made to approve the December 13th minutes.
I
All in
second that.
favor?
I
And you
second
second it? John seconded? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
approved.
And
Is there anyone
one
online?
disapprove.
Okay, good. So you're good to go. It's just the four of you.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. It's
Oh.
not
Oh,
okay.
really, okay,
Nobody's there.
okay.
Good.
And the old business is really the main portion of why we're here. It's to review and discuss Tara's first draft of the master plan. It's chapter 5. Does anyone have any edits, questions?
Well, I think it's good if we follow it.
Right,
I know Ed made a couple comments. I'm trying to find the email.
Yeah, he did have something good to say on that. He was pretty good.
I don't know if they ever made it back in.
Yeah, that was a while ago too. I
Yeah.
remember the email, but
something about
let me see if I
socializing
have it.
the,
Oh, yeah, and what's his last name again?
Lucente.
Lucente.
Here we go. He said, well done, most important is from what's quietly mentioned on 76/112, and again on 70, page 76 and 77. The largest landowner in this area, the Tyrell Development Company.
that's not even in our chapter. Okay.
Oh, so we don't have to worry about it.
Because our chapter was page 55 through 64.
I think it was an
Okay.
overall comment.
So
about
it
Yeah.
the plan.
Yeah,
Well, it impacts your area conservation because they have the
Right.
rest of the land in the
Mhm.
center of town, so around Corcoran's Pond, adjacent to Snowsbrook, there are issues that could raise. So his idea was to just make sure that they come in and talk to the planning board before the master
they
plan
do.
is
Yeah.
adopted,
Mhm.
so that they have input. I think one of the things, just so you're aware, the Tyrell has shared their conceptual master plan with the planning board
oh,
and with Tara. So she's aware. I mean, they have 3 or 4 condominium
Right.
developments,
Yeah, I've
a
seen
couple,
that.
3 hotels,
Mhm.
the gondola, a lot of development in the center of town that are part of
Mhm.
okay.
the plan. So I think all of those things are being taken into
Okay,
consideration, but it's a good point that.
yeah. So as it pertains to chapter 5, I have 3 key points that were emphasized. Number 1 was the stormwater management. That needs attention. She and he, I guess it was Rick Vantipole, who said the site plan regs, the regulations are outdated and should be amended.
Right.
So that needs attention.
Well,
All of
in-
this-
In what way? Eric? Because they've amended the site plan regulations twice
Mm.
in the last 3 years. And they've been gone over with a fine tooth comb by Tara, who's one of the leading planners in the state of New Hampshire. So
Yeah.
I'd like some
Mm.
details from Rick if he thinks they're outdated.
Yeah.
I
As
think
to what,
she copied that. She copied that part. So I assumed it was not taken care of.
Yeah, if it has been, then it shouldn't be in
Yeah,
that
right. So
paragraph.
we
at the
should
end
check
of it.
into that.
well, yeah, just if he has some specifics about, I mean, but I'm right about the review of the site plans, right?
Right,
Already done.
I mean, we've been updating them significantly.
yes.
Okay, because this is,
But if there
yeah.
are conservation related items that have not been addressed,
Mhm.
then and that needs to be discussed.
I think that's what Rick is referring to, but we gotta find out exactly what he
Yeah,
was.
What is he
talking-
concerned
Yeah,
with?
right.
we'll get
because-
on that. We'll
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that led to the sedimentation issues that we have in town. Number 2 was culverts need assessing. And I know every year I hear
Mhm.
Jim Mayhew is taking care of it, but do we really
Okay.
know how far he's gotten? And if they are done or they still need assessing?
They need assessing, so you need to put that in that and just address it, that they need to be assessed.
So Mark, would the town be responsible for those culverts on that private land? That's all that's being built in that whole
No.
area?
None of that. That's all private, that's all privately owned and
Right.
that's up to them.
So how can we get the landowners to take care of it?
Well, what do you want them to do?
Okay, for instance, a lot of that sediment comes right down through there. And it keeps clogging up and clogging up. And it goes right into Corcoran's Pond. There's two drain areas that go into Corcoran's Pond. The one down by the land that the Conservation Committee bought.
Mhm.
And then there's the other one that comes over just on the other side of the gazebo.
Well, we looked at the one over by the land that the Conservation Commission just purchased. We
Yeah.
looked at that this summer.
Yep,
There's a sedimentation area on the east side of Valley Road. So the water that is going under Valley Road and into Corcoran's Pond, unless that drainage changes significantly, which we don't believe that it does. Remember that area that's settled in the woods there?
I do,
Over between Valley Road and the new house where
Yes.
we're standing?
Mhm.
yes,
That's the sedimentation area for the water coming off of, call it Golden Heights,
yes.
okay?
So right on
So-
Golden Heights,
Yeah,
right along that road that comes down,
that water heights goes down towards the golf clubhouse,
yes,
Okay.
yes,
and then it goes across, it would be Snow's Brook Road at that point.
yes,
And it goes along Village Road, and then it crosses down by Town Square. And it goes in between Town Square and the Snowy Owl,
yes.
okay? So that does not go into Corcoran's Pond.
Okay.
Ah,
That one,
So-
okay.
The areas where we have sedimentation problems with that water is along Village Road, right? That drainage ditch on the right-hand
Mhm,
side as you're driving
Mhm,
from Valley Road to Town Square.
mhm.
On the right-hand side, there's a very
Big,
large
yes.
swale there.
Yeah,
That's the area where we have sedimentation
Mm.
problems. And in the big culvert that goes under the road
Mm.
out and comes out, it daylights right over by Snowy Owl. Yeah,
Mhm.
yep,
okay.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the issue that we have. We have not addressed it to this point because of the conceptual plan that Tyrell has is for Village Road to be changed or to go away,
right.
okay?
right.
Because so we're not spending any money on Village Road right now
Right,
until they follow
do.
through.
Mm.
Because the large hotel especially, and the gondola station and all of that stuff, that actually will end up interrupting Village Road. So I can foresee a point in time where that cutoff is different. And now you will park probably closer to Valley Road in order to access Town Square.
Hmm.
Or you might park, they may change the area down Snow's Brook Road and put a different parking lot in there.
Mhm.
And then you access Town Square from that side.
Mhm.
So I'm I mean, you have to look at the
Wow.
conceptual plan.
Yeah.
But that's why we have not addressed any of that drainage at
Mm.
this point in time.
Oh,
It's just, we had, if you remember back when we did the pedestrianization study,
Yes,
we were gonna change Village Road
mhm.
and we were gonna widen it and we were gonna put the bike path and on-street parking and we had all kinds of ideas.
Mhm.
We kind of have put all of those on the back burner until, because I don't want to spend all of that money,
No.
And then
have them
rip
come
it all
rip
up or-
Yeah.
have Tyrell say, we need
Mhm.
to arrange this differently. There may be a cut through road somewhere else that,
Mhm.
will take the place of Village Road. I don't know.
Mm.
so help me to
Should be
calm
interesting.
down a little bit here.
Yeah.
So the area I'm talking about is you've got Golden Heights.
Go up Golden Heights, yes.
It's right there on the left side and right there on the right side, right there. And when we were talking with Ben
Ben Legary.
McGarry, he promised, now, my mistake for not getting it in writing, but he promised that he was going to take care of that culvert that where those 13 townhouses were
Yeah.
gonna go.
He has to do that. It's in the plan
Okay,
that he will
But he-
rebuild the drainage that
Does he-
runs along Golden Heights Road.
but he doesn't own that anymore, does
Yes, he does.
Oh, okay,
Yes, he does.
okay, I feel better.
And regardless of who owns it, unless they came back into the planning board and got their approval changed,
Yeah,
they have to build it the way that he said he would.
Okay.
They can't change it because the ownership changed.
okay,
Okay. Now, if the new owners want to do something different, they can come into the planning board and
But
say,
yeah.
hey, I want to take this and I want to make it look like this.
Yeah.
And then they would need an amended
all right,
approval.
Mhm.
all right. And we'll have somebody that will enforce that.
Yes,
Or
they,
do we have
they
to?
will, their engineer will certify. So their engineer has already certified that the drainage that comes off of that parcel,
Yeah,
when it is built out, does not increase
Mhm.
the rate of flow off of that parcel, right?
yeah,
They built, remember down below, they built retention basins
yes,
that they're gonna actually install
Yes.
during the project, okay? And they certified that the drainage meets or is less than what currently drains off of that property. Okay, and I'm pretty sure, I'd have to check the minutes, but I'm pretty sure that their condominium documents include maintenance of those retention areas under, there's a, I won't call it a road, it's like a driveway that's on the lower end.
yeah,
And then there's one up behind the buildings
yes,
on the uphill side.
yes,
That one that's lower, that's down by the cross-country ski trail,
yes,
Mhm.
that has retention basins, big concrete structures that allow the water to sit in there and percolate down into the ground.
okay,
And I'm pretty sure that their condominium documents say that they have to maintain those in perpetuity.
okay,
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Well, if they put all of the building up there and all of the pavement and everything else, they've got drainage problems. So
Yeah.
that's how they handle it,
Right.
rather than build a pond or something like that
Mhm.
where that would hold the water. So the law says that they have to do an engineering study that shows that the water that drains off of their lot after they make their improvements, roads and buildings, doesn't exceed what currently
Currently
flows
is
off. the
running
lot.
off there.
got it, thank you.
Okay.
So now our guys will watch the construction happen. Say, yeah, they put in the basins, they built the roads the way that they're supposed to be. And their engineer will stamp the plan, an as-built plan. This is what got built. And so we'll be able to compare those two, and make sure that they built what they said they would.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm looking at chapter 5. Sorry to come back to this.
No?
So Tara took whatever Rick said in his NRI, the
Okay.
Natural Resource Inventory, and it's emphasized that the entire town falls within watersheds of surface waters, blah, blah, blah. It's such high quality. They're considered to be an important state and national resource. No degradation of water quality is allowed. So then she goes on, or we go on to say, inadequate stormwater management has increasingly been identified by scientists as primary cause of water deterioration associated with human activity. So what has the town done to decrease stormwater runoff resulting from impervious surfaces such as roofs, yards, driveways, paths, and roads? Have we increased semi-pervious roads? I don't think we have,
No.
because we haven't built the roads yet, right? That's another long-term plan.
Drainage is part of the improvement project that we're gonna be doing.
Okay,
And our engineers are filing a wetlands permit with the state of New Hampshire.
all right,
So the drainage that comes about because of the road improvements that we're going to make will be certified by the state as
Okay.
meeting whatever the state regulations are. So we are going to hopefully improve drainage along the roadway as we are fixing the road. Now,
okay,
I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if there are structures in there.
right,
We don't have the final
Right.
construction plans.
okay,
Yet, but drainage improvement is part of the
right,
project.
okay,
So that, and additionally, we are funding our sedimentation
right,
remediation plan,
right,
that the selectmen have included that in the warrant, and if town meeting passes it, then we're gonna start doing that. We're gonna, I hope that as we continue to improve roads all around town, that drainage will be a major
yes, okay,
part of that improvement.
okay,
Got it.
Oh, and I just want to also say with water quality,
yes,
we have the most stringent wastewater permit in the entire United States. Okay,
mhm,
so the water that we send to the Mad River
mhm,
from our sewer
Right.
treatment plant
yes,
is the cleanest water in the United States, or will be when we build
Right.
the new plant.
right. Well, it was in the 70s and
And
now
it
it will
is.
be again.
Yeah,
That's correct.
Okay,
Great.
wonderful.
so Kristen, in case you were a little confused, the sedimentation plan that he's referring to
Mhm.
is the one Rick Vanderpool is working on.
Okay, yep.
And I think in April or May, did he write it here? In April or May, his partner in the Forest Service will be,
Yes,
they'll be doing the assessing of the sites
once the snow goes.
to finish the
once the
second,
snow
this,
goes away.
yeah.
Yeah.
So April or May, we'll know a little better.
And we'll know whether the town said that we could have the money to do.
To do it.
project.
They will absolutely say yes, because we will be saving hundreds and thousands of dollars. Right?
I hope they.
That's
will
what
approve it.
you're the salesman. Say in 6 years, you'll have
I
to
got my
dredge.
best used car salesman voice ready
Yeah.
for Wednesday, okay?
Good.
I got 35 slides. I can put anybody to sleep.
Oh.
You got a problem child, bring them to the meeting.
Ah,
They will be asleep by the time I'm done.
So when do we vote? The meeting is Wednesday.
Well,
That's the budget.
budget and
Yeah.
bond hearings are Wednesday,
Okay,
and then town meeting is March 8th,
okay,
second Tuesday of March.
okay.
And that's when we vote.
Yeah,
You vote. I don't.
yeah, right. You just get to present.
I get
You
to
just get to sell it and we
sell it, you
we say,
guys,
we'll buy
whether
it.
snake oil salesman, I'm
Ah.
thinking I could dress up all kinds of different ways.
Right.
Used
This'll
car
be-
salesman.
I can't
Um,
imagine not passing that.
Yeah,
If every 6 or 7 years we have to dredge Corcoran's Pond at a cost of,
Well,
$600,000-$700,000
on the current.
wow.
and this plan will cost about 50,000 maybe
Well, it costs 50,000 in town money and 50,000 in
in
grant.
grant money.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Still, even
Yeah.
100,000. So I'm being optimistic.
Good.
All right,
Go for it.
we'll have privilege of the floor. Does anyone have anything to say? Anything to
No one's
ask?
doing this.
No,
Becca, you good?
No, in fact, you brought up some things I had underlined, so
Oh,
that's good.
Yeah, is there anything else that you want to edit in the plan? Besides what we're put in? Because, so the planning board is pushing very hard right now to finalize the wording in all of these chapters.
mm-hmm.
Once they do,
That's it.
they will produce a document that will go out to the town, and then there will be a public hearing, at least one. I don't know if they'll have more.
Mhm.
And then after that, the planning board will vote to accept the plan or not.
Mhm.
I have a question on that, the Conservation Commission, that's the heading on page 62. I think they meant, they have, that's the last sentence, the commission also manages, and they have the, and then a 1.8 acre piece of property recently acquired by the town for its water resource
Oh.
protection value.
Typo.
I delete the.
I think that needs to go. So,
Thank you for catching that.
yeah, well,
Uh,
page 62.
Yep. Yes. Nancy will cover all the grammatical errors.
yeah,
Take the word the.
this was a strange
Yeah.
sentence construction for me. I didn't get it. Page 63,
Okay.
the 5, section 3, scenic resources. That first sentence, what do they mean by the tastefully designed, built environment? Don't think designed and built
And
environment? Surrounded by the scenic mountain landscape is an essential ingredient. Still not
Did you get that one?
clear, but
I'm a little behind. 63.
page
page
63.
63.
The first sentence, designed and built. Very awkward to me.
Well, it sounded funny to me, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the idea is that to keep the nature of the buildings and that sort
Yeah.
of look
Mhm,
Right.
to the valley,
mhm.
but.
Hmm.
however you want to word that.
maybe they just mean tastefully designed and built in. No, that doesn't make sense. I don't know. Let them figure.
Yeah.
That's just awkward.
Yeah.
Okay,
Doesn't seem that's all right.
Designed and built. It's
Yeah.
a bit better.
Okay. Next.
yeah, and I don't think the Abenaki ever lived here.
I was
in
gonna
this
say.
valley, but I
The
asked my-
Abenaki, do you know anything
I
about it?
asked Charles about it, and he
Yeah.
said they may
Oh,
have passed
three
through
sharing
here,
house.
but they
Yeah.
were
They didn't
not
live here.
living here.
Oh,
Yeah, the 11 by 17. Yeah,
I wonder if
Thank
Mark
you.
knows anything about that.
what?
Waterville Valley has a colorful history. First, as home to the Abenaki for thousands of years.
Mhm.
We're questioning that. They might have,
My archaeology husband does not believe that they lived in this
Okay.
valley.
I don't know.
if they didn't
So-
live here.
I've always heard
that they lived
I don't know
here?
if it was the Abenaki or if it was some other
Yeah,
Okay,
Native American people, but
Maybe the
we had,
traveled
we
through
had
here.
somebody, they traveled through here, but it says for thousands of years.
yeah, I mean, they could very well have been through here, but I don't think that there's
why did-
any sort of proof to say that they actually lived in Waterville Valley.
Yeah.
Who could we ask to
The state.
verify? Who?
the state,
State archaeologist,
state archaeology.
yeah, the guy from Keene,
Oh, yeah.
Bob, what's his name? Yeah,
They're going, I'm sure that they have maps that show the ranges of Native American peoples in New
Yeah.
Hampshire through the years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would like this to be accurate though, so.
yeah. Well, Charles wasn't making a big fuss about it, which sort of surprised me.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever, whoever.
I feel
mean,
like I heard that they did pass through, at least that's what they taught my kids.
Yeah, yeah, but they didn't live here
Oh,
for
okay.
thousands of years.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
I'm,
That's what they're
Yeah.
saying in the
Gotcha,
first
gotcha.
sentence. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the details. I remember they learned about it and made like huts or something
Right.
oh,
in
fun.
school, yeah.
Ooh, thank you.
Wow.
Just before you leave, we'll talk. about
Okay,
that.
good.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
Hmm.
Any other items from the chapter 5?
So what are the next steps? We're gonna ask about that and then get it changed in the plan.
We would like to,
Who's gonna
I can do
own
it.
that?
okay, the Hastings.
I'll rope my husband.
Yeah, I mean, just do a simple
Yeah.
Yeah.
search in
Yeah.
the state records and we can go with what they have, or we can, at the planning board meeting, John, just highlight that to Tara and say,
This
a
may,
question
Oh.
came up from the
Yeah.
Conservation Commission and, where did we get the information?
maybe
This
just
question.
needs to be
Right,
reworded perhaps to
just-
make, yeah,
just re-examine.
yeah.
Question.
And I would take specific references to tribes completely out of
Out of
there
it,
and
yeah.
just say
Yeah.
Native
Americans.
Americans, that would
Yeah.
be better.
That would be,
Yeah,
Right.
that way, who can argue?
that's
All
good.
right,
They were here.
That's
They
a
were here.
Simple
Somebody
thing.
was here.
Yeah.
Simple
Yeah.
thing. So on that note, when they start digging here,
Mhm.
do they have to,
Oh, yes, every time we put a shovel in the ground.
okay,
Yep.
because that's what happened in Keene and.
We
you know
actually
about that.
spent $200,000 more when we put in well 4 because we had to move the water line.
Oh, because
The
you found
dis-
artifacts?
Because there were artifacts up
I
by
don't remember
Depot
that.
Camp.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like
So
Depot-
don't worry, they're
Okay.
right on top of
They're on
us.
it.
they
Okay.
don't let that
The
stuff go by.
archaeology.
Yeah.
I won't call them what I think they are, but we
Oh,
defeated them in World War II in
oh,
Germany.
oh, oh.
I won't tell my husband you said that.
Oh.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
World War II.
There were artifacts that were found in the ground when we started digging. We stopped
Oh,
and we moved the line.
okay.
And it was,
Oh, that well
it was
four, yeah.
more than 150,000.
Yeah, that was
But-
Deep Woods,
Yeah.
well four,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of.
Yeah, Red
stuff
Feather
up
Trail,
there.
right.
Yeah,
I got you.
And actually it was on the connector.
The
Trail.
connector, right.
It was this side of,
Okay,
Got it.
so we have to go through that. Okay. Well, Keene had a very positive experience with that and,
no, I mean, there's no reason to not do it if you run into the material. And you can put it somewhere else.
yeah,
Right.
right.
It makes perfect sense.
okay, so did you get that little modification there?
Yeah, I made some notes and we'll,
So if you don't want to do the research, we can write Native American
Instead of Abenakis.
instead of,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe just do that.
yeah, less work
Yeah,
if no one complains. Steve, you okay with that?
Sounds like a great idea.
Okay.
home to Native Americans. That sounds better. Indigenous, I don't know, what's the
Yes.
proper term?
Or
now?
indigenous,
They'll
Indigenous
probably change it.
peoples.
We'll
Yeah.
we'll say Native
Whatever.
Americans and. they'll
whatever
say-
is accepted
64.
at the present time,
Yeah,
I'm good with.
I would say indigenous. but either one is okay.
All mean the same things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why people are so sensitive about
All right,
names, but
Excuse me for justice.
we're good, okay.
Yep.
And we have an item number 6, little discussion about trees. So a couple of meetings ago, Lisa Reed felt this was really important to bring up, and she would like to see a plan in place to replace trees that have been cut down. There's a lot of new construction, and she says, where are all the trees? And our town has been denuded of all these trees. So we explain that, yes, that's private property and property owners have the right to cut down trees, but there's no reason we can't put a program in place to plant some
Yeah.
trees.
and I've been thinking about some of that. If there's a lot online with the state about of course, different conservation districts. And you can check for landscapers in the area that
Mhm.
use native plants. We could try to, if somebody wanted to do a fundraiser, Ray Cottage, I don't know, who else did we think of?
I would kind of suggest
The
the
school.
cottage and the rec center.
Yeah,
Brooke,
do like
might
a
want to
native plant
tree
sale,
or something.
right,
Yeah. Arbor Day or any,
or during Earth.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We,
yeah.
Earth
during,
Week.
so Earth Day week,
Week
we
would be,
have the regular town cleanup.
right,
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we could maybe do it then, but we gotta find where you can plant
Yeah.
the tree.
that's the other question. Where
It's
would
a
be some,
privately owned land or.
well, people would be buying their trees to plant themselves. And if we had suggestions, go out to new people that are building new houses
Okay.
of suggestions of, these are our native plants there,
Mhm.
and educate them as to what's good to be planted where. And then offer
new homeowners?
yeah,
and that list John should bring that back to the planning board. So,
okay, all right,
Yes,
that way, when they're having conversations with developers
Okay,
and the developers are trying to figure out what plants to
Mhm.
use,
mm-hmm,
that maybe there's a suggestion list from the town
yeah,
rather
Yeah.
than,
Yeah.
right,
Right.
right,
rather than reacting to what they put in. Because they're
Right.
gonna put in the
Yeah.
easiest to maintain or,
right,
right,
whatever
Yeah.
they're.
okay, I can help you with that.
So,
one.
yeah.
yeah, Rebecca, you could help us.
I
with
was
that.
I was working on it a little bit this afternoon and
Okay.
finding some things
Yeah.
with the University of New Hampshire
Right.
Extension,
They're good source.
Okay,
And there is a tree sale, in fact, there's a forest nursery, and it's coming up, they have their catalog out, seedling catalog out already, which I don't have a date on the end, but this is the 2022 sale,
Okay,
so.
all right. How are we gonna get the information to all these people?
Well, they have to ask for a permit, don't they, to build their house?
Before
and
they-
So,
Yeah.
and do
Yeah.
they require any sort of landscaping plans? with the
The only
building?
landscaping plans are if the project requires site plan review, then the planning board gets to review it.
Okay,
And then there's a full landscaping plan that's done. If it's a single family home, no,
that
we
doesn't
don't,
happen.
we don't
Yeah.
control
Okay.
that.
Okay,
But
We
if
don't
it's,
so
like that.
we'll get the information together and when
Yes.
that comes up, I
We'll
can
have it.
present it
right,
to the
okay,
board.
Yeah.
excellent. Great
And
plan.
we could add it to our building. You can talk to
Yeah.
Dave Noyes, and
yeah.
we could do it as an addition to the packet that we hand out.
Mhm.
Oh, good.
And I was wondering, are there these new lots, is there a green belt established so that they cannot cut everything down on the property?
No,
Mm-mm.
not there.
as a property owner, you can cut every tree down. if you want.
Interesting.
That happened on.
If they,
Mhm.
if they are above a certain square footage of timber, then they need a permit from the state,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't preclude them from doing it. And most of the lots are small enough that they don't rise to that level.
Mhm.
Yeah, the trees don't.
Yeah,
Well, I'm just familiar with developments in Michigan that have green belts in between lots.
well, we require
So-
maintenance of open space, right? And you have lot coverage, right, requirements that are in our regulations,
Okay,
but they do not have to be native.
right, no, but they
Forest.
have to,
So they can still clear the entire thing and then put back lawns or
yeah.
whatever they
See, and
want.
that, they should be encouraged not to
Yeah.
plant lawns, because lawns
Well,
require
that's-
fertilizer.
Yeah, lawns are
And the
not green.
fertilizer goes into your water, and so if we can educate
Yeah,
people
I
to,
know.
this
Well,
is an
that's a
alternative.
zoning- That's a zoning
Yeah.
Yeah,
change.
yeah,
You can propose language. That's why we go through the process every year of seeing if there are amendments that we want to make to the zoning ordinance.
mhm.
Kind of, the horse is out of the barn, though,
Right,
Well,
right.
you know.
So
Right
are you
now.
more concerned with replacing the trees that are cut during construction or setting up another plant a tree type project, which we could do Earth Day week or separately or with the school or with,
Yeah,
you know, or both?
well, I think it's I think Lisa's thing is that she hates to see so many trees being cut down on these private lots where people are building. And, you know, obviously, we don't have a lot of control over that, but
Right.
we can hopefully educate new homeowners about landscaping and trying to do natural things, and just encouraging, if we have a plant sale, either a native plant or native tree sale, the school and rec department could benefit from the
Mhm,
money, and then people would feel good maybe about
mhm.
going home and planting a tree, you know, on
Right,
their property, so.
I think one of the things that you might want to look at, and I don't know enough about the species themselves but it seems to me that around here, there are the least expensive ways to go,
Mhm.
Right,
Mhm.
However, there are non-native species that people use all the time, right? But there may be a native species that could replace it,
place that,
you
yeah.
know? And so that, it may be good to have that kind of a list.
Mhm.
Hey, if
Mhm.
you're
Yeah.
thinking about putting these plants in
Right.
around your house,
Yeah.
please consider
Right,
these,
yeah,
because these are native
yeah,
to the White Mountain National Forest and,
New Hampshire.
you know, and to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
you know, that may be another way. And the planning board has asked in a few really egregious situations, they've asked developers to not put in certain
certain
plants.
plants.
And
yeah.
there is a list somewhere on the White Mountain National Forest website of plants that they do not want to see
See, yeah,
in this
okay,
area.
Right.
And even though we're privately owned, maybe the town could take action to regulate the installation of those plants.
mhm. Yeah, I'd like to talk to some of the local landscapers and see
Mhm.
what sort of things they do suggest for people. I know there are landscapers that do native planting, but it'd be interesting to,
And, you
See
know,
what
come
they
up,
have.
find out if there are other towns that are trying to reduce the lawn
Mhm.
areas in their towns.
Yeah,
We certainly would support that from the town perspective because irrigation systems and
Ugh,
Right.
everything else use water.
Yep.
That may be another way to get people to not put lawns in is to adopt regulations that prohibit the installation of
Mm-hmm.
irrigation systems. I
Systems.
mean,
Yeah.
And how about similar to lakefront communities where there's
Exactly.
ordinances against cutting down trees due to erosion control?
Right.
Mhm.
Given the elevation grades that we
Yeah.
have here in town, maybe there's an avenue there to explore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point, Steve. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was surprised to see how many trees Craig cut down on the land between the golf course and his house.
Yeah, well, he
It
told
was-
us he was gonna do that.
Huge.
Well, there's a lot of scrub brush in there too, and he left a lot of trees.
Mm.
So he did
I know, it's
do a good
his
thing.
right.
Yeah.
All right, so that's
Yes.
the new,
That's the
new
tree.
business or
That was new business
No, it's
trees.
new business
Yeah.
and
trees.
privilege of the floor, we already passed?
Yes,
Okay, nothing, we had nothing.
Nothing.
no, and
Okay.
number 7, we don't need to discuss this, but I put that in a few weeks ago. For your information from the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions, these are the bills that they're watching.
Hmm.
So I put that in because if they are interested in it and watching it, and you're curious about it, you can just hit the link and read all about it. And let's talk about the date of the next meeting. I don't think we need to meet until Rick is ready for us, and that's probably May or June. So if you have any concerns, we should meet sooner, let me know now. Are you okay with May or June?
Or you think we should have a
I
check
just don't like losing the,
momentum?
yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
on some of the native tree stuff and the
Yeah,
Native
right,
okay.
Americans and stuff.
yeah.
Do we have to pick a date now, or can we pick a date after we hear from Rick, or if there's any preliminary?
Hmm.
If there is information to discuss about the tree program. You know what I mean?
So May is just 2 months away, right?
Right,
So,
Yeah,
Do
this
we
can't
have
be.
the list of-
like not just meet to meet, but if we actually have stuff
Yeah.
that we can.
February, March,
Move
April,
forward with.
3 months,
Three,
3 months.
Sharon's
3
3 and a
months.
half.
town report.
February's not over yet.
No.
Yeah.
And we can,
For
as far as I'm
vacancies, because
concerned, I
we've
can
talked to
work on this plant
town
stuff and
Yeah.
tree stuff without,
Right.
involving everybody
Right,
else.
and
Yeah.
then circle back once you have.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Is May good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
So let's
and
look
if
at,
we wanted to have the,
Yeah.
propose the tree sale native plant thing
Yes.
for
Do you-
April.
Do you want to discuss this on official?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take 10 minutes or so, I can explain what that map is to you before, or we can just do it on Wednesday. Totally up to you.
Maybe you could touch base a little bit about it now.
yeah, do you want us to adjourn the meeting and then talk, or?
No, it would be
Well,
to
I
the
have to-
conservation.
I have to go
Commission.
at
She's
like
gotta go.
soon, because
Yes.
I have to pick up the kids before the rec center closes
Right,
at 5.
We'll fill you in if there's
Well, I'm
anything.
I'm gonna be going over it at the
Several
meeting.
times.
Okay, but
And-
then we can
yeah.
adjourn and you can talk
Yeah,
to
yeah.
them.
Right,
And I
Plan to
do,
press then.
so the only other thing is, a lot of you have just been appointed, okay? But you were appointed to certain positions,
Mhm.
right? Because there's a rotating schedule
right.
for terms. I just asked Steve to go get last year's town report. It would be good if you could have an April meeting
Oh,
or a
Okay.
late March meeting, and here's why. Because after town meeting,
mhm,
the Board of Selectmen, the new Board of Selectmen, right,
Mhm.
mhm.
are going to do reappointments of everybody's terms
Okay,
Okay.
who are up. So we need to figure out who fits into which
okay,
position, which we can do. You can leave, that's something we can do, but you guys need to be reappointed
okay,
in March. And then you should have an organization meeting, elect your chairman and vice chairman and secretary and
Okay,
all that stuff.
Sure.
So,
So
April.
here, last year, we had so Chris is off,
oh, Chris Beerbrier is
Beerbrier,
off, Martha
right.
is off.
Martha is off. So Chris's position was through 2022. Martha's through 2023. Dan Newton is gone as an alternate and his position is 2023. Ed Lucente is through the 22nd, the 2022. And we had a vacancy for 2024. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
so Eric, you're going to be, if you are interested,
Mhm.
you're going to be reappointed,
Okay,
all right?
Mhm.
Because your term ends this year,
okay,
in March of this year.
all right.
John, it doesn't matter, because you're ex officio and it's
Right.
whoever the planning board wants. Who are we saying took Chris Beerbrier's position? Who wants to be that person?
Who was
What was-
the secretary? Do we know?
I think Martha was
It
taking,
doesn't say.
no,
Okay.
Martha was doing
You don't,
that.
you don't put the vice chair and the secretary on here.
Oh,
Well,
Just the
When
When
chair.
Sharon, like, remember when I got sworn in, I
Mhm.
feel like she said I had a 3-year term.
Right, but the question is, does that 3-year, well,
You
But
got
that
sworn
may
in.
have
if
been-
you
answer
started a
whose it
3-year
was.
term, then you
I'm
would have
just here
been
about-
Chris's
There we
Mhm.
go.
replacement.
Okay,
Okay.
you're
But
okay
that,
with
yeah, and that
that?
was in the,
And so you
2021.
would be reappointed,
okay,
okay, in March for a 3-year term. So
Okay.
that'll take you through 2025,
okay.
okay?
But if something changes, I
Yeah,
can.
oh, you can always
Okay.
resign. This
Okay.
isn't, we don't go hunt you down if you don't show up for a meeting.
Drag you
Although we
back
could
to the-
do that,
Oh,
we
no.
don't, I promise.
Yeah. I'm not gonna let you
And
go.
so.
Well, I
you
never
will-
was sworn in for anything that I know.
Oh, no.
That's,
So I'm illegal.
we're fine. You're through 2023.
They don't call me Reb for nothing, I'll tell you.
All right, Rebecca, we're gonna put you into Martha's position.
Okay.
Through 2023,
Okay.
okay.
and we will get the town clerk here and give you a call.
Okay.
Oh,
Beautiful.
and then Ed said he would be an alternate. Can
Ed
you-
is an alternate, and we're gonna reappoint Ed to an alternate through 2025,
Okay.
Okay,
okay?
we have to hunt for,
We have-
And we will need, we need a full member
yeah,
who will be through 2024. Okay?
Yeah.
And then we have 2 other vacancies,
Ooh,
one to 2023 and one to 2024.
So we need 3 positions.
So we need 3
total.
positions, 1 full member and 2 alternates, okay?
Can 2 people in the same family be involved, or is that not a good idea?
It's totally up to
your
the
husband, you mean?
Well, Charles was
Yes.
interested.
yeah, you can
and-
because
Yes.
we're.
Yeah,
And
but
I
you're-
love archaeologists. My
Okay.
best friends in archaeology. I'm purely joking.
I
because
know,
They make me jump through all kinds
I'm
of.
sure
Okay.
they do, yeah, I'm
We would
sure they
love to
do.
have them.
Yeah,
So would
Yes.
April 11th work then?
Yes,
At 4?
yes, that sounds good.
That's like past Easter, but before like the spring breaks.
Cool.
okay,
Sure, thank you for that.
Okay.
All right, 4:11,
At
we're gonna
4.
let you go.
Okay.
Yeah, don't be
I don't wanna
late.
get in
Yes, go
trouble.
go get your
Child, you're Not
kids.
getting in
Thanks.
trouble with the rec department.
No,
Right.
you can't have Brooke angry
Brooke
with you.
cannot be angry. Brooke would be angry at me if I.
I'm
keep her.
already in trouble.
They
My-
probably
My
lost,
6-year-old walked home. We live in Windsor Hill.
Oh,
oh,
Last week, I was on a Zoom meeting with my boss and popped in. They almost called the police. They were, so they were, I'm already on thin ice.
It's okay, he's okay, and that's a good
Yes. He said they were being mean to me, Mom. I just wanted to know.
thing.
wow.
oh,
Oh,
Well, it's pretty sad when your kid can't walk home from
Yeah,
the school
really.
to Windsor Hill.
I know, but he shouldn't, they were worried that was.
Yeah.
It was
they
minus,
didn't-
it was -10.
If they,
Yes.
oh,
If he
okay.
had fallen
That's right.
down.
And
If he
if
had
they
fallen
didn't know
down.
where he was,
Right,
that's, yeah,
right.
that's
But in other circumstances.
worrisome.
Well, thank you, Kristen.
Thank you,
Thank
I'll send
you.
these out.
Okay.
All right.
You're right.
So you want to do it during the meeting? That's fine.
Yeah, no, whatever you want to do, because you're down, oh yeah, you still have a quorum, so you're still.
We do. We have
you
a
got
quorum.
Frank, So you're still in
Right.
meeting, so you haven't adjourned.
All right.
All right.
This is just, we were telling, I had a chance to talk to Irid a few minutes about this, because it's water quality, it applies to the
Yeah.
Conservation Commission.
Yeah.
And you'll be seeing this plan a lot in the coming months, because all the state permitting will have to be reviewed by the Conservation Commission and
Mhm,
approved, well,
Mhm.
approved in the sense of, yeah,
mhm.
no, it's happening.
Right.
So two things with this plan. Number one is the wastewater treatment plant that is shown on there, the new one that's in color in the bottom left-hand corner,
Okay.
right? Is the minimum footprint, okay?
Here's the new,
Right,
yeah.
that's the new, so
I
up
was
above it,
getting,
up above it, you have the existing plant, and then
located by
the-
myself.
and then the,
Yeah, that's what's
the
here.
garage, the DPW garage
Yeah.
is there.
The salt shed
what we
still
did
here.
was-
Yeah,
What we did was we have looked at our permit, and the permit has certain levels that we have to treat the water to, right? Very stringent, okay? So the engineers have said, this is a kind of plant, okay, that will allow you to treat the water to that level,
level.
okay?
Mhm.
We then said, what is the minimum footprint
Mhm.
that we would need to build that kind of a plant? Okay? So what you see there in the orange and blue is the absolute smallest plant that we are going to be able to build and meet our permit. Then we took that footprint and we started putting it in different places
Mhm.
on the town property or land that we might be able to
To
buy that's
purchase.
vacant.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because remember, we have to keep the lagoons and we have to
Right.
keep the existing plant the whole time we're
Time.
building the
Yeah.
new plant.
Mhm.
Okay, we
Yeah.
can't touch any of that land
Mhm.
because the new plant has to be building before we can take apart the old stuff. And so the location where you see it is really, when you look at the town-owned property, the only area where we can effectively build a new plant. So we have contacted Tyrell and we've started talking to them about buying their property because
Ah.
this property is privately owned
Got it.
by Tyrell. That's that land right over there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll be darned.
Okay,
Has not been up for sale a couple times.
it has. Fortunately, it hasn't been sold.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
good.
fortunately, nothing substantial has been built on
Yeah.
it. So,
Mhm.
so we are talking to them about that purchase.
Okay.
Okay.
We, as part of this, we will relocate the transfer station, and that's what the
Mhm.
dotted
Back here
line
off
is
the Tecumseh.
up here off of
Yep.
Tecumseh.
Ah,
That will be an interim, transfer station. That is not necessarily the final resting place of the transfer station,
mhm.
but it does get all of the customer activity out of the construction site.
Mhm.
And because that whole area, all of this in front
Mhm.
of the
Where the
DPW
dumpsters are
garage
now, yeah.
is all gonna be
Yeah.
construction
Right.
area,
Yep,
Mhm.
okay?
got it.
So this is, I mean, we're talking huge cranes
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
Flatbed.
massive
Are they gonna be putting
concrete
like a big
trucks.
chain
Sure.
link fence
Yeah.
around all this while
Yes,
they're working?
everything will
Yeah.
be walled off and
Yeah.
it'll be a regular construction.
It's gonna be
site.
tough for you guys to
Yeah.
get up here to your,
Well, the one
Office
area we're
space.
going to have is going to be
still that tag
TAC lane.
lane, okay. Yeah.
And that is going to be our public safety and general public access
Mhm.
to this building.
If you look at the far left corner of the DPW garage,
Yeah.
imagine drawing a line from there to the, end and
Here,
tack
yeah,
lane. And that would
okay.
be Jersey
Right
barriers
here
or
Yeah.
to here
to block
is
off
gonna
the
be a
construction.
Jersey
Mhm.
barrier.
so that the
And all of
DPW
this
guys
is
can
gonna
get in
be
and out
Sure.
and customer
Right.
traffic
So
can get up the
basically
town.
You'll
losing all those
still get
trees
up the
along.
hill. Fire truck can
Probably,
get out.
Yeah,
yeah, probably we will take all those trees right there down, or the majority of them while the construction's going on.
Yeah.
And then we'll have to repopulate it
Mm.
afterwards with some sort of screen, but who knows? I don't even know. This site where the treatment plant is located is very conceptual.
Mhm.
That can move
Sure,
significantly
sure.
in that area. So we may end up with a much larger building. We
Yeah.
don't
You
know
don't
Yeah.
know, yeah.
until we actually
Well,
start.
this is pretty neat. I mean, that you
Yeah.
can still keep it here and
Yeah.
if you can get this lot.
Yeah.
That's a cut through to the village trail, isn't it?
Yes,
There
you
used to
won't,
be a
that
little-
won't exist. The
Mm.
village trail is going to have to end
And
probably
Right.
about halfway
Right.
up the lagoon.
Mhm.
So go back towards,
Yeah.
and we may even, for ease, we may even do some sort of turnaround
Mm.
in the north
Mhm.
west corner of the lagoon and stop the trail up here.
Mm.
And so, because this is
Mhm.
a building that we're actually going to be building,
Mhm.
this one
Understood. And
here.
that
Yeah.
can move
Yeah.
and that can move.
a little way.
So the owner here that's been giving you trouble, he won't be bothered with people walking through anymore, right?
Well, the trail down by the river isn't, yeah, it will be, because the outfall, there'll
Yeah,
be a new outfall pipe that'll come out of here to go down into the river. So
people won't be.
people won't be walking on
Right.
that trail at least one of the years
Yeah.
of the construction
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Actually, putting that outfall pipe is probably going to be close to the end of the project, and
Mhm.
Mm.
it,
Okay.
I don't think that'll take very long for them to do that,
Mhm.
but who
Okay.
knows?
well, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
It
isn't it?
must be for
So
you to
we-
see something concrete here.
Yeah.
He feels very pregnant. Let's put it that way. Very pregnant.
There's no such thing as a little pregnant.
No,
So
no.
we are now,
Very
we are now
pregnant.
completely
Yeah,
pregnant.
you
with this
either
project.
are or you aren't.
That's right. You either are or you are. And now we are.
So
So,
I have some questions.
yes,
So the temporary transfer station, will all of these dumpsters be over
Everything.
there?
Everything's going.
That'll be
Good,
room
so you have
over
a little
there.
more control there, you can fence it in, are you gonna,
no, we're not going to restrict access.
okay,
What we will do is, there's currently a fence that goes all the way around the lagoon.
yeah, yeah,
That fence line up by Tecumseh Road will move, and we will put a new gate in
okay,
up by the transfer station up there where the demolition debris and the
Yeah.
metal pile and all that is.
yeah,
And nobody will access the transfer station from down here. We will close that
That
gate
off,
permanently.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, and that'll be purely for operations.
okay,
But that's actually gonna, I think, make it better, because it'll be easier access for people
I
to get
agree.
into the
Oh, yeah.
transfer
Yeah.
station.
Yep.
And our transfer station attendant, when she's there, that's when the gate is open. She'll be able to watch what's going on
What's
among
coming.
the dumpsters.
Yeah,
So we'll
Yeah.
have better communications with our staff that, it's
Mhm.
time to empty stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to build new replacements for these red I call them buildings
Oh,
in quotes.
the sheds, yeah,
the
sheds.
sheds, yeah.
But we'll be able to build something up there, because it's gonna be 3 or 4, maybe 5 years that's gonna be up there.
yeah,
Because once we actually put the new plant into operation, then we start decommissioning the lagoons, and
Foods, yeah.
that could be 2 years worth of
Right.
work itself, because
Mm.
we won't be able to work year round in that.
Right.
And we've got to dig all that out. I'm sure there's gonna be all kinds of groundwater testing that's gonna need to be done to
Yeah.
make sure we haven't polluted
Yeah.
anything we shouldn't
Mm.
and all that.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge.
Mm.
So this is,
Is this plan, what the town of Waterville came up, or did you
Yes.
hire somebody to?
the engineering firm that,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Mhm.
This is, so to go through this process to build a new wastewater treatment plant, the state has a process that you have to follow. And this is the first step. So the first thing you do is take your permit requirements. What kind of plant can meet that? So we have 3 or 4 different options that we're looking at for the type of plant. And what we've done here is just choose the smallest one, not necessarily the one we're gonna build.
okay,
Mhm.
Mm.
Although the engineers are leaning towards this one because it's very effective, it's
Mhm.
scalable, if there's new development in town and that sort of thing.
that's. what-
This is, we're building it for our current permit, which is 500,000. Actually, I think it's 550,000 gallons a day max
Okay,
treatment.
Mm.
So that's what our current permit is and what our new permit is.
Mhm.
So we didn't get any additional flow permitted, but we didn't lose anything. either.
Anything,
So
do you know how
yeah.
much we treat now? How much?
Right now, we're
many?
probably about 190,000 gallons a day.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 200,000 gallons a day. We're not anywhere near capacity.
Okay,
We have peak demands that are probably around 375
got it.
on really busy days like,
Christmas?
no, actually, the busy periods have morphed into the summer.
Oh,
And those
yeah.
are
Yeah.
higher peak uses now.
Okay,
Oh,
We
that's
still have
interesting.
our big days that
Yeah.
close in on 300 during ski season.
Yeah.
but,
Hmm.
February school
We're-
vacation and then,
February
Yeah.
school vacation, Christmas holiday, and then in the summer, the 4th of July week.
yes, that's right.
And actually, the whole month of August is just really big
Summer.
demands.
Okay, good.
One thing too, that's not immediately identifiable on that plan is the proximity of where the new plan is to the existing plan. And once that existing plan is decommissioned, it could give us the opportunity to add expansion to the new facility.
Aha, yeah,
Right
Yeah,
there,
that's
if
good.
you
Very
need
good,
it, yeah.
nothing to know.
At
Right,
It's a cool
lower
map.
cost.
I like that.
Sure.
right.
So I'll,
Yeah.
I'll go over this at the
Several
budget
times. Right,
hearing to just update
Right.
people on where we are. We have borrowed 1 million of the 5 million
The
that was
5, right.
authorized.
right.
The good thing about the timing right now is the availability of ARPA money and
Yeah.
infrastructure money. We started this, we're the number 8 priority project in the state of New Hampshire
wow.
out of about 100 projects.
Wow.
So we are huge
We're
because it's a new permit. We have gone from a 2% federal grant qualification to 30%. So right now, we're looking at whatever we spend on this, if everything holds the way it is right now, we could get upwards of $6 or $7 million
Sweet.
in assistance.
Wow,
from the feds.
wonderful.
When we were looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars before. So,
And what about the option of rebuilding our town facility, this town hall? that-
that's not anything that we're gonna look at until we have started construction.
Mhm.
So once we begin construction, then we will start looking at options for
Mhm.
whether it's the permanent transfer station, whether it's recycling, whether it's new town hall and public safety facilities. All of that planning will start once we begin construction. Because I don't want to start that now because we're spending so much
Yeah.
effort on getting the new plant designed
Right.
first.
Yep.
And there's no sense in designing something that's not going to be built for 7 or 8 or 9 years.
Yeah,
You might as well wait a few years,
sure.
take advantage of new technology.
Technology.
Yep.
You know, integration of solar will be part, or alternative energy, not just solar,
Mhm.
but renewable alternative energies are going to be part of our new plant plans.
Mhm.
And they could be part of a town complex-wide
Mhm.
renewable energy
Mhm.
alternatives.
Right.
So we've got a lot of work
Yeah,
to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is really good. Yeah,
excellent.
So it's at least starting. And the water project, we have a successful, we've had a successful bidding process.
oh, really?
We've
Good.
selected a contractor. The work, we're getting contracts lined up now. It will be weather dependent when they do the work because they're doing a river crossing across the Mad River.
Mhm.
So precipitation will be a big issue.
Yep.
Right now, their plan is to come in end of July, beginning of August, and actually be done and out of here as close to Labor Day as they can. They
Wow,
don't feel it'll take more than 6 weeks of actual work.
wow,
And we are gonna, the contractor hasn't been here yet.
Mhm.
But once they get here and start walking the ground, we may ask them if it's not gonna add too much money to do it in phases and try to get stuff done up front, but that's up to them.
Yeah.
We're just, their bid was,
Yeah.
we took the low bidder. We had actually 5 or 6,
That's
5
good.
bids,
wow,
5 bids.
that's impressive.
Yeah,
This is the
So-
water line across the river.
across the
Yeah.
river and connecting well 3 to the new and well 2 to the new treatment building. So all of our water by the fall, late fall of next year, all of our water will be being treated in the new treatment facility.
Beautiful.
And we will have 2 crossings over the Mad River, under the Mad River. And so we have some redundancy, so
Mhm.
we can sleep better.
Yeah.
At least I
Yeah.
can sleep better
Yeah.
at night.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
So water quality, that's a big thing.
Sure.
And all of our testing in the Mad River, I know there have been, the selectmen have received comments about water quality and people seeing a lot of salt use this year. I will tell you that in the last 5 to 7 years, we've had a lot more rain than we have gotten this year. And that rain tends to wash away salt, right?
Mm.
So the salt that you're seeing, like it's everywhere.
yeah,
Right.
Right.
yeah, it's
Well,
terrible.
that's a function of a couple of things. No precipitation,
Mhm.
no rain specifically, right? Which we, every year, it just kind of cleans it as we go. It's not happening this year.
Yeah.
Plus, the cold temperatures are stopping the salt action, so the salt is just laying there.
Sitting there,
Right.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So if people say anything to you,
Yeah.
As far as we know, there's no degradation
okay.
of the water quality around
Mhm.
town, and we have no reason to
To
believe
believe.
that it will.
Yeah. No, it's good to know.
But, you know,
Yeah.
we don't, the other thing is we don't specifically test. The water here is not here very long.
Mhm.
Even Corcoran's Pond is
It's
a
moving.
pretty fast pass through.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So given our elevations and
Oh.
these, all of the hills. I mean, after Tropical Storm Irene, they did all kinds of studies, and you can tell people a drop of water on the top of Osceola or Tecumseh
yeah,
is out of town. They did the
In no time,
calculation,
good.
is out of town within the day.
okay.
So all the way from the top of the mountain out,
That's crazy.
it's just gone. So water.
Yeah.
Water that's around here is pretty clean all the time.
Time, yeah.
Mhm.
I hate to bring this up, but
Yeah.
something happened with the Corcoran's Pond water.
The aerator.
Could you
Mhm.
tell that? Because I didn't have a chance to tell
Oh.
them. what
So
happened.
the water got drawn down very quickly for snowmaking. We didn't get a chance to take the aerator out, and the aerator is used to keep the ice from building up around the
Right.
dam area.
Yep.
It's frozen into the ground, basically. It's
Oh,
now
geez.
underwater, and we won't be able to replace it
Yeah.
or use it again this year. When
Wow.
we get to the melt, we'll see what happens. I hope that the ice doesn't damage.
Right.
The only parts of the dam that ice could really affect negatively are the flashboards.
Oh,
Mhm.
So the concrete part, we're not really worried about, but the wooden
Sure.
Okay.
stop logs and the
Yeah.
wooden part,
Yeah.
the plywood part.
Is that why on the other side of the dam, on the brook there looks like it's never looked before?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's ice
right, yeah.
that's forming that usually
You don't, it
it's-
usually runs
the
through
water
there.
is,
Yeah.
it's running, but now
Right.
the ice is.
Yeah,
Isn't somebody supposed to notify the towns we can adjust for that?
I don't know what happened. I have not had a chance to talk to Tim Smith about what
Okay.
occurred. I still really don't know.
Okay,
It, now it's literally water under the bridge.
Yeah.
So
Or ice under the bridge.
it's more like ice under the
Ice
bridge.
under
you know,
the
but,
all right.
But really, there's not a lot we're gonna do. I'm gonna talk to Tim so that it doesn't happen in
Again.
future years.
yeah, yeah.
Because quite frankly, if we have a large rainstorm right now, we run the risk of
Yeah,
ice activating those flashboards, and he's
Yeah.
not gonna have any water available for snowmaking.
does
right.
that maybe we can,
Oh.
does that mean we can maybe clear a place to ice skate?
No.
No,
No,
no.
the water, actually, it's still, there
Moving.
is still water underneath, there's still water
Moving through,
especially along the eastern,
Sure.
northeastern shore,
okay,
by the ice arena.
yeah,
It runs right along there. So there's a lot of moving water, and when they drew the water out, the ice collapsed. And then more ice, then the water went back over
Over
that
that
collapsed
ice,
ice. So
yeah.
Wow.
there's like a couple of layers of ice in there, and we gotta keep people completely,
yeah,
Completely.
yeah,
Okay.
just not safe.
yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Good info.
so that's
sure.
all water info that you need
Yes.
to be.
That's
talking to
good,
people
yeah.
And
Yeah.
answering,
Yeah.
if they have questions, they
Yeah.
come and talk to us. and
Right.
Sure.
We'll point them to Jim if we can help them,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we'll get you info,
Okay.
okay?
Well, thank you for that.
Super, thank you.
And anyone who wants, have you guys ever been to the wastewater treatment plant?
We have,
The old one, yeah.
The old, the existing one.
No,
Have you ever
I have
Wonderful
been?
not.
trip.
Mm-mm.
Wonderful.
You should,
Yeah.
anytime you want.
Oh, really? You don't
To
have
go
to,
through and see what we currently do.
yeah,
And you can talk to Dylan about how the new plant is gonna be a little bit different.
oh, that would be neat, I'd like to do
Yeah,
that.
we'll
Nice
do
little-
that,
And there's
Yeah.
an online, there is an online video, I think, that we have, that Dylan did a
Mhm.
a little talk through what we currently do.
Oh, okay.
Pretty
Great.
sure that's on the website.
So can I have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, yes, I motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you. And thank you, Mark, again, for your valuable time.
Yep, not a problem.